Jumbo everyone! Today I'm doing my April wrap-up as well as my May TBR. I'm very happy to say that I finished all of the books that I wanted to read this month, including one that wasn't on my TBR for last time. So the first book that I read in April is 1,000 Pieces of You by Claudia Gray. I've been wanting to read this for a long time, and finally I bought it a while ago, and it's been sitting on my shelf, and I finally decided to read it. So 1,000 Pieces of You is a story about this device that's made called the Firebird, which allows for traveling throughout dimensions. So the main character of the story, Marguerite, her father is killed, and she is forced to go through different dimensions in order to find her father's killer and figure out why the documents of the Firebird was destroyed. Overall, I really love this book. I give it 3.5 stars out of 5, and that's just because in the beginning it kind of starts off very just already in the action. Sometimes that can be good, but other times it's a little hard to catch up and figure out what's happening. So with this book, I kind of felt like that was what was happening for me, at least. Throughout the story, we would get some flashbacks of things that happened in the past, which make up for that. But for me personally, I would have liked more of a established beginning where the events that are very vital to the story actually happen versus it being told as like a memory. So the second book I read in April is Paris, Modigliani Me by Jacqueline Kolosov, and so I went into this book with very high hopes. The plot seemed very interesting, and the first half of this book was really good. Unfortunately, by the end, the plot kind of fell apart. And the things that we thought were important at the beginning didn't really seem as important at the end, and it just didn't feel complete to me. Because one of the main parts of this story is that the main character doesn't know who her father is, and she figures out that he lives in Paris, where she is currently nannying for this young girl. And so she's debating whether or not to write to him, and I don't want to give away any spoilers, but we literally don't even see her father until almost the very end, and so it was very anticlimactic. And another aspect that I didn't really like was the fact that there were too many, not love interests I would say, but possible love interests. There were 3 in total, I would say, and she didn't even end up with the person that I liked the best, and he seemed the most intriguing. And these characters, we meet so many of them, but we never actually get to know fully what their story is. They give you hints and little aspects of things that happen in their life and why these 2 certain characters dislike each other, but by the end you don't even actually understand why they hate each other, and I just felt this book was all over the place. So I can only give this book 2 out of 5 stars, and this was just not what I thought this book would be. The third and last book that I read in April is City of Ashes by Cassandra Clare. Now with this one, at least I know I'm gonna get a good story. Of course, I give this book 5 out of 5 stars. If you've seen some of my other wrap-ups, you know what this series is about, the Mortal Instruments. Clary Frey discovers she's a shadow hunter, a race of half-human, half-angels who rid the earth of demons. And this is the second installment in that series, and I am just... this book, praise bless for this series, Cassandra Clare. I don't even need to go into more detail about this amazing book. Next, I will be doing my TBR for May. So the first book that I'm going to be reading in May, and I'm actually more than halfway in it, is Unhooked by Lissa Maxwell, and this was actually an impulse buy that I just recently bought at Barnes & Noble, and I'm so happy I did, because not only is it a retelling of Peter Pan, but it is a great story so far. I am so hooked. I just started it last night, and I'm more than halfway done. Unfortunately, it's not that big of a book, so that's why I'm getting through it quickly, but that doesn't take away from the amazingness of this novel. So the main character, Gwen, her and her best friend are kidnapped and are taken to Neverland, but it is not like the stories say. She ends up on this pirate ship captained by a guy named Rowan, and along with the crew, who are all young kids, boys in particular, and I'm loving it so far. I can't wait to finish it. And the next book that I plan to read in May is Scarlet by Marissa Mayer. So this is the second novel in the Lunar Chronicles. The first one is Cinder, and all of these novels are retellings of fairy tales, princesses in particular. And if you can't tell by the cover, this one is about Red Riding Hood, but they all take place within the same world. In this world, it's very industrialized, at least in the first one, because the main character of Cinder, she is a cyborg, and there is a colony on the moon, the lunar people, and this series is just so interesting and amazing and very different from other retellings that I've heard of. So I can't wait to read this. Next we have City of Glass by Cassandra Clare. Like I said before, I'm rereading The Moral Instruments and The Infernal Devices, and then I plan to reread Lady Midnight as well, because it has been so long that I actually read through the whole series. I think I've only read the last 3 once. So this time I thought that I would do it all in one go. That way I can experience all the feels all at the same time. And those are the books that I hopefully plan to read in May. I also wanted to say a huge thank you to Dina for sending me this TARDIS bookmark along with a Shadowhunter necklace. Oh my gosh, these are so adorable. I love them. Thank you so much for sending it to me along with the card. You were so sweet. And I definitely plan to be wearing this often and using this bookmark. It is so adorable. I love Doctor Who and this necklace. It's so adorable. It says, mentally dating a shadow hunter. Yeah. Definitely for me. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. As always, all of the books that I mentioned in this video are going to be linked below, so you can check them out there, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!